Do you want to know how to start a World Eaters army for the very first time? Are you finding it a challenge to collect World Eaters and figure out exactly what units and models you'll need for your World Eaters competitive list? Well, today on Ops 29 on the Onslaught Gaming 40K platform, I'm going to break down all the things you're going to need for your very first World Eaters army and 3 lists included in this show to make sure you understand exactly what a competitive list at 2,000 points will look like. All right? Stay tuned and make sure to watch. We're back, everyone. This is Ops 29, how to start a World Eaters army. All right, so everything that's pictured here, also, I wanted to make sure that you all know these are the things that I either use or most domestically used when trying to put a World Eaters army together and collecting the actual models. These are usually the best units, a part of the World Eaters. So make sure to look at these visuals and you'll see exactly what you need to get started with. But we're going to do an entire breakdown also when it comes to doing this entire video. So, first thing I want to go over, right? Most importantly, the reason why you're buying into this army, other than aesthetics, right? You might look at an army in 40K and be like, yeah, this is what I'm going to play because it looks cool, it looks awesome, whatever it might be, reminds me of this when I was a child, whatever it might be, right? Let's start off with the lore and tell you why World Eaters are World Eaters. Originally known as originally called the Warhounds, renowned for their discipline and ferocity, known as the 12th Legion in the Emperor's army. So, the discovery of Angron was found enslaved in Assyria, forced into gladiatorial combat. Implants that were called the Butcher's Nails made Angron an unrelenting killer, and he demanded they be installed in his legion as well. So he wanted to make sure everyone got this in addition to himself because he wanted to make his own legion, right? So the transformation, how that went by in the origin, the Butcher's Nails turned the Warhounds into berserkers driven by rage. He ended up renaming the World Eaters under Angron's leadership. So originally Warhounds, which they had a cool little emblem. They used to have white and blue, white and red. I think they had wonderful colors in the Horus Heresy era, right? Or in the Heresy era. I see a lot of people nowadays who paint them white and blue or white and red, lots of gold, things like that, just to kind of give homage to the Heresy Warhounds. I've never seen somebody actually walking around with Warhound logos and things like that. So that would be nice. Hopefully, if you have those or if you plan on having those in the future, hit me up. Let me know. Send me a picture. And I would love to see it, to be quite honest with you. Also, in the origins, we want to talk about their fall to chaos, right? Angron ascended as a demon primarch, leading the World Eaters into eternal servitude for Khorne. So he became infamous for the mantra, blood for the blood god and skulls for the skull throne, right? Which we absolutely love saying on the tabletop, and people look at you like you have problems. But this is relatively what their lore is all about. Just a basic idea of what the World Eaters are. There's a lot of books out there. There's an Angron book where it talks about his gladiatorial combat, his childhood growing up, him dealing with the Emperor, things like that, right? Go check them out. There's a lot of good information on there, a lot of way to really motivate you to continue to love and cherish and have your compassion for the World Eaters. A lot of great stories. So go ahead and check that out. It's pretty tragic what happens to Angron, and he ends up joining the dark side, essentially, right? So, not to spoil it for you guys, but you already know that they did fall to chaos. So they're not necessarily the quote unquote uh, good guys. So, all right, on to the next one. So, why do you want to start a World Eaters army? Right. So, this is a couple of reasons why. There are 4 points here to tell you why World Eaters are incredible army to start off with. So, a brutal close combat playstyle they have, right? It's perfect for players who love aggressive, melee focused tactics. They really do encompass that type of army. They are not what people think they are. Most of the time, they're just ooga booga, just going to run towards you and just do something incredible. They can be used like that, right? At a higher competitive level with more intelligent individuals who are playing the game for the game state of the game itself, right? They'll catch you off guard. They'll make sure to pick off your world leaders, and you're just going to die very quickly. So you're going to make sure you're going to want to make sure that you understand the movement, which is the most advanced step for world leaders, and positioning, things like that, and put yourself in prime real estate to do all of your combats efficiently, right? They have beautiful iconic models, unique units like Khorne Berserkers, Eightbound, Exalted Eightbound, Angron, Khorne Lord of Skulls, which is a demon engine, offers a visually striking and thematic army. They really are. They're very beautiful. They have a lot of spiky bits. So make sure to give and provide blood for the blood god on one of your models. It makes them play way better. I promise you. All right. Also, the third point being straightforward gameplay, easy to learn but rewarding to master with simple objectives. Right. So they charge, fight, and claim skulls for the skull throne, as always. Right. You want to make sure that, like I said before, yes, they want to charge, they want to fight, they want to claim skulls and things like that. But you really need to understand how to maneuver and position them in the game, how to deploy, how to make sure to move them out and position them and stage them for a good close combat to execute an efficient close combat, right? They also have rich lore, so fans of chaos and blood-soaked narratives will enjoy the world eaters, dramatic history, and connection to Khorne. Like I was telling you, there's a lot of books out there that you can read on Khorne, world eaters specifically. A lot of great information. Another very important topic that we want to talk about is the world eaters pricing. Obviously, this is how it's going to be for you to purchase these, right? Where to purchase them at. Make sure to support your local game store, things like that if you can. If not, you got to save a buck. That's fine. Do what you got to do and find one at a better price online. I have no recommendations. I have no stores, allegiances, or affiliates and things like that. I do apologize. Hopefully in the future I will. But you could always check Amazon, support GW, things like that. Look for the deals, look for the sales on Barter Bucket, War Gaming Markets, place like that on social media, right? And all of these that are broken down are going to be MSRP from the GW website. Shout out to them for having all these listed and prices. As of recording, these models are actually in stock, minus the Khorne Lord of Skulls. So try to get yours as quick as possible for the holidays, if possible. If not, after the holidays, then try to get them whenever you can. So the World Eaters pricing, this is going to be a recommendation of everything that I think that you should be running in your army, right? Everything that you should purchase initially. Yes, it's going to be a steep buy-in. You can do this progressively, but you want to try to get at least all of these boxes to get you a very basic starting point. Well, a little bit more than basic, but just to get you a great starting point with your army. All right. So 2 boxes that I recommend day one off the rip, right, is 2 boxes of the combat patrols, which have jackals, berserkers, your Lord Invocatas, or can be the Khorne Lord of Skulls. The Khorne Lord, right? Your warlord, Lord on Juggernaut. So you'll get 2 boxes. You'll create one of them to be and model one of them to be the Lord of Ikadas, and the other one to be your Khorne Lord on Juggernaut. So you want to have both of those models. Obviously, you can't have 2 of the Lord of Ikadas because he is an epic model. You can't run 2, at least in the game. You can model it like that, but it would be super confusing for any of your opponents. Eventually, you might go to things like that. So I recommend you just create 2 different looking ones, and then you could just say, hey, this is Lord Invo, and this is my Lord on Jug. So you want to grab 2 box sets of those, which are 168 each. Angron, of course, this is an auto include. He's $170. This is obviously all USD, right? For those of you who are watching overseas, I do apologize. You're probably going to have to put it into, Google and do a currency translator, things like that. Also, 8 bound, right? So these can be modeled. This box set of 8 bound and exalted 8 bound are both the same in the box. Each box, you can model it into 1 unit or data sheet, as they call it. 8 bound is just a data sheet. Exalted 8 bound is just another data sheet, but both of those data sheets can be found in the box for 8 bound. All right. And it's $62.50. I recommend that you get 1 box to model 3 8 bound out of that. All right. Then I recommend you getting another 3 boxes. So you're going to get 4 boxes in total of the same thing to model those as exalted 8 bound. So you can have 9 exalted 8 bound from those 3 boxes because they have 3 models per box. And they're both $62.50. Also, a very popular, beautiful. These are absolutely beautiful. I don't know if it's just me, nostalgia, things like that. But the Chaos Terminator squads, which are also $62.50, I recommend you getting 2 boxes of those because there's only 5 in each. So you'll have at least a 10 Terminator squad unit, right? Absolutely beautiful models. There are places online that you can actually go and get their pauldrons specific to World Eaters. You can have 1 pauldron that's, I want to say it's just the emblem, and then have the World Eaters logo where it's actually eating the world with the jaws eating the world, things like that, which I have done. I'm waiting for all those pieces to come in. Not a sponsor of the show whatsoever, and I'm actually still waiting. It's like almost a month now. So probably not highly recommended to order from here, but where I ordered mine from is called Pop Goes the Monkey. All right, and then you can get your pauldrons there. They look beautiful. That would be the only recommendation that I give you, or my my stitch of, my opinion on why I chose them is because they're absolutely beautiful looking. Also, you want to grab a box of Chaos Spawn. Remember, this is just a minimal requirements. You can always get more later if you want to run 4 spawn because they're in units of 2. So you definitely want to get one unit of 2, which is $58. Also, you want to get a Chaos Rhino so you can put in your characters, your berserkers, and things like that. So I would recommend you get at least 1 box of the Chaos Rhino. And then Khorne Lord of Skulls, which is $185 for this beautiful model. Just grab 1. I mean, you can go crazy and grab 3, run 3 of them if you want. It's over like 1,300 points in game, something crazy like that. Have fun. Do whatever you want to do, right? But just a small recommendation and a minimal recommendation would be to just grab 1 of those. Try it out. See if you like it. It's a big, huge piece, right? It actually helps you out with shooting in your army. And it's actually how I play all of my games, right? I've kind of stuck to having the Khorne Lord of Skulls in all of my lists. I've developed other lists and things like that you're going to see here throughout this show. But my current list is working with the Khorne Lord of Skulls. I just think that he really puts that cherry on top of that pie, right? He just makes the army better, or at least that army list better. So if you want to do the minimum recommended, it would be a total of $996.50. Can be quite pricey, but remember, if you put 20% on there, 15% on there from supporting your local game store or Amazon or wherever it might be, Obviously, if you have 20% off 1,000, it's going to be relatively around 800 something bucks after taxes. Maybe you don't, right? So end up paying the taxes, that is, right? Or it's cheap enough that you don't even see the taxes. But whatever it might be, that would be roughly around the total. Would make sure to secure a World Eaters army for you to start playing for the very first time for 2,000 points. Introducing Warhammer Station, your premier destination for Warhammer 40,000 and tabletop gaming accessories. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or new to the hobby, Warhammer Station offers a curated selection of high quality products to enhance your gaming experience. Warhammer Station offers Warhammer 40K MDF terrain. Elevate your battlefield with intricately designed terrain pieces, including the Pariah Nexus terrain set, crafted from durable MDF to bring your games to life. Warhammer Station also offers gaming tokens. Keep track of in game effects with precision using our range of tokens, such as the Battle Shock tokens and Oath of Moment tokens, designed for clarity and ease of use. Warhammer Station is dedicated to delivering exceptional products and service to the gaming community. Explore their full range of offerings and enhance your tabletop adventures by visiting their online store today. So let's talk about the World Eaters playstyle, right? World Eaters are an aggressive melee focused army designed for relentless close combat. They excel at charging into the enemy, overwhelming high damage attacks, and securing objectives through raw brutality. Key features include devastating combat units. Khorne berserkers and 8-bound deliver devastating attacks in melee with high damage and multiple attacks per model. True indeed, right? Simple objectives. Focus on killing enemy units and holding objectives through sheer aggression. Once again, they're all about aggression, right? Angron, a very powerful but fragile demon primarch who returns to the battlefield multiple times thanks to the blessings of Khorne. Their weaknesses, right? They have limited shooting, very few options. They don't have a lot of data sheets, a lot of units to actually pick from. They actually had to pull in a lot of chaos units to put into this army index to give them some extra viability and options, right? And vulnerability to armies with very strong firepower or mobility. Like anything else in life, right? There's different type of armies, different type of play styles. You just have to learn and get accustomed to those armies and those play styles. And I'm a firm believer that any army list player can be any army list player, right? And it's also ideal for players who want straightforward, high energy battles driven by carnage and chaos. So, if you're one of those individuals that played 40K back in the days and you're coming back now, back into World Eaters, whatever it might be, this is very easy to pick up, very challenging to master, and you don't really have to super focus on getting objectives because you're just going to do what you used to do in old 40K, which is just burn, main, kill, right? So you're really going to enjoy the play style of this army, the aesthetics, how it plays, and everything about them. All right, here's the fun part. So we're going to talk about the blessings of Khorne, which is the army rules for the World Eaters themselves. So just to give you a quick brief synopsis of what this actually is, right? So we don't have to read the entire left column of what blessings of Khorne is. What you're going to do is you're going to take 8 dice, all right? 8d6 dice. You're going to roll them at the beginning of the battle round. And then you're going to select from the right column. You're going to select between the Rage Fueled Invigoration, which means any double value, right? Add 2 to the move characteristic of models in this unit. There's also Wrathful Devotion, any double value as well on those D6. Models in this unit have the Feel No Pain 6-up ability. If they already have Feel No Pain, you get a +1 to it. which makes Spawn incredible, which makes your Exalted 8-bound incredible, because Exalted 8-bound go from their standard 6 to 5s. Spawn go from their standard 5 to 4s. Your regular 8-bound have none, but they go to a 6. Berserkers have none, they go to a 6. All the characters have none. They all go to 6 up, feel no pain, including Angron. And this is across the board for your entire army. That's everything that's ran in your army, except for any allies that you add into there. But that's a topic for another day. We're not talking about allies today. We're talking about purely mono-faction World Eaters, including your Terminators, things like that. And your Terminators are very strong already with a 2+ save, a 4+ invul, and then you give them a 6 up, feel no pain on top of that. Makes them extra resilient to any incoming attacks and melee. Also, you have martial excellence. So you have to have a double 3 pluses. So melee weapons equipped by models in this unit have the sustained hits ability. So it can be double 3+, 4+, 5+, 6+. Anything above, 3+ or above that. Total carnage, which is a double 4+ or any triples. So it can be triple 1s or double 4, double 5, or double 6. Each time a model in this unit is destroyed in a melee, you get to essentially fight back, which is an incredible ability. All these abilities are absolutely amazing, for the record, and there's 6 of them, and we're on the 4th one right now. There's also warp blades. So this is a double 5+ or any triples as well. Melee weapons have lethal hits, which means you get to auto wound whatever it is that you're fighting on 6s to hit. So if you have a Terminator unit that you find it challenging to punch up to a Imperial Knight, Chaos Knight, or something that has a very high toughness, you definitely want to put warp blades and I would say warp blades and martial excellence to give them sustained hits, and the warp blades to give them additional hits, right? So they can ensure that they destroy whatever it is that's so high to punch up to. And then number 6, last but not least, and definitely one of the favorite ones, is double 6 or a triple 4+, 5+, or a triple 6. Which obviously, if you have a double 6, you're just going to use the double 6 instead of a triple 6, and probably just use that to res Angron, but we'll talk about that later, right? So this unit allows this unit to advance and charge, which is what this army is really all about. You want to try to charge and advance and charge as much as possible. Use your speed. This is one of the fastest armies in the game on foot. So you want to make sure you're moving as fast as possible, getting into melee as fast as possible, but you want to make sure you're doing it efficiently. They're basically torpedoes that you stage in the right locations, right? And then you send them out with advance and charge and just destroy whatever they touch. That's really how good this army is. So then now we're going to talk about the World Eaters detachment rules. This detachment ability is for your entire World Eaters army. Essentially what happens is, if your army is selected to fight, and then that unit made a charge move this turn, until the end of the phase, add 1 to the strength and add 1 to the attack characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in that unit. All right. So this is World Eaters wide. So Spawn get it, Khorne Lord of Skulls, Terminators, characters, everything that's mono faction World Eaters that you're taking in there has all of these keywords, has the keyword World Eaters. So everybody's going to absolutely be able to get this detachment rule ability. And it's completely amazing. I wish it happened all the time, but it happens in the charge, and it plays very thematically to what World Eaters is all about. So just to be clear, right, for a lot of you who don't know, World Eaters Index is absolutely free currently, and the rules to the game is absolutely free. So make sure to download the free index from GW following this link right there, right? Make sure you copy that, write it down, pause this video, or just go to the Warhammer community page for Games Workshop and go to the download section, go to indexes, then to index World Eaters, and download and enjoy your World Eaters free index. All right. And it brings all of the data sheets. I gave you a little sample here on this page where you can actually go to Kinko's as well and get these put into a ring binder or like a notebook binder, things like that. Whatever you want to make with it, you can go ahead and do that. So just be cognizant of that. But it comes with everything you need to run the World Eaters Army today, and it's completely free, which is absolutely awesome. So we're going to talk about the first example army list for World Eaters. This one I called Butcher's Bay. The reason I called Butcher's Bay is because it has a Terminator unit in there, right? I absolutely love Terminators aesthetically. Not so much to run a ton of them. That's just not my play style, but they're absolutely amazing. So this is the first 2,000 point list from World Eaters. It has Angron, who's has to be your warlord. Have Lord Invocatus, Lord on Juggernaut, a unit of 10 Jackals, which you can get in that Combat Patrol box set, and the Lord on Juggernaut and the Lord Invocatus as well. The 8-bound, 2 units of 8-bound, and 2 units of Exalted 8-bound, right? One of those units being a 6 model count, the other 3 Exalted 8-bound and 8-bound being 3 model count. World Eaters Chaos Spawn, 2 of those, and the Terminator Squad, 360 points for 10 Terminators. And this is an absolute fantastic list. I've actually played this list before. I know I was telling you that I like to play my Khorne Lord of Skulls all the time, but I like to try different things out just to see if it might be better just to go melee focused, right? And I know we talked about that's one of the weaknesses and disadvantages of World Eaters is that we don't have a lot of shooting. But the Khorne Lord of Skulls really bridges that gap, fills that hole with that deficit that we have in our army. And maybe that's why I play it, right? I don't want it to have any weaknesses. I don't want the army to have any weaknesses. So I end up playing the Khorne Lord of Skulls. So it has no weaknesses. So any army list that I go up against, I have a tool to deal with everything they can throw at me. And this is a wonderful picture of Angron. If you've never seen him before, he is absolutely beautiful. One of the best looking Primarchs, if not the best looking Primarch for Chaos. All of them, honestly, in my opinion. But once again, I am a World Eaters player, and I'm going to be very biased on that. So this is your first example army list. Second example army list is going to be one that I call DreamHack. This is something that it's just a dream for me to continue running this, and it was an actual event that I went to a very long time ago. So I kept the name on there. I really didn't care about the name. I wanted to just continue to keep the list on there. I tweaked it a little bit since, back and forth since then, but it's basically stayed all the same the entire time. So first unit in here is the Angron. Then you have Lord Invocatus, 2 units of Jackals, because I really like to hold the objective game, play the objective game, right? Hold objectives, make sure I can sticky objectives, things like that. 2 units of 8-bound, 3 of them. 1 unit of 6 Exalted 8-bound, and another unit of 3 Exalted 8-bound as well. Then the Demon Engine itself that you see here in the photograph, right, is the Khorne Lord of Skulls, 450 points. Yes, it's very pricey, both ways, right? Currency and points-wise, it's very pricey. But it's an amazing piece. I like playing it. It's an extra challenge for me, trying to maneuver it. If you don't know how to maneuver it, you want to learn how to maneuver it, I have some videos. Go check out my YouTube channel to make sure you check out all of the videos I have on World Eaters. Just go to the playlist section. I have a place in there that says Embracing the Red Path, which is all about World Eaters. And you can check out the video that I have in there when I'm actually showing you how to maneuver him on TTS, which is Tabletop Simulator. All right, it's an ability for you to play Warhammer 40K digitally on your PC. And then, last but not least, one of the best units in all of World Eaters in the game is the World Eaters Chaos Spawn unit. Just 2 of them for 70 points. And then on to the very last World Eaters example army list, number 3. I call this one the nails are biting. You're going to hear all of these terms if you start reading any of the World Eaters, lore, fluff, things like that, right? Butcher's nails, the nails are biting, embrace the red path, things like that. It's just terms for World Eaters. It's just nomenclature. It's just things that we talk about as, it having significance, not in game, but just lore wise, understanding historically for World Eaters. It's just pretty awesome to me. But anyways, that's me nerding out. So this one you're gonna start off with Angron, of course, right? Like I was telling you in the beginning, Angron is an auto include for me. That doesn't mean that you have to always take Angron. You can build your list however you want to. But I believe that Angron is an auto include in the World Eaters Army with our very limited amount of data sheets, models, and units. And he's just absolutely amazing with the ability to come back multiple times throughout the game. Just makes him worth his points if you can bring him back at least once. If you can bring him back more than once, he is a super discounted model, right? Super cheap. And then you're also going to bring Lord Invocatus, Master of Execution. So this is one of the things that I didn't recommend on here. Master of Executions, the reason I didn't recommend it, there's a lot of ways that if you already have other models, that you can make this existing character, or if not, you can go on GW or your local game store and try to get a Master of Executions, which is a Chaos model. You always want to make sure you throw the enhancement, the Berserker Glaive on him. This is domestically used when you're taking this model. You could always take any of the other three enhancements that are in the index, and you can go ahead and check that out in the free index download that I was showing you previously. But Berserker Glaive is usually the best one. A unit of Jackals. This one actually has a unit of Berserkers as well, which is 10 of them. And you're going to put the 10 Berserkers inside of the Rhino with the Master of Execution, attach him to that Berserker unit, and then you're going to have Fight First. You're going to have Precision with that character, and you're going to have the ability to re-roll everything with that character against a character unit. Very, very strong. Fight First is very, very strong. Just so you know, if this is your first time playing this game, Fight First is absolutely amazing. There are ways to circumvent it, but a lot of people don't understand how to do that. Also, you're going to bring in 2 units of 8-bound and then 1, 2, 3 units of Exalted 8-bound, and one of them being a 6-pack of models, right? So you're going to bring in 5 different levels of 8-bound, 3, 3, 6, 3, and 3, right? For a lot of 8-bound. So I wanted to make sure that you got a good little flavor of how Berserkers want a lot of 8-bound. The previous list was the Khorne Lord of Skulls, so you get a taste of that. And then the first list had the Terminators. So you get a variety of what you might actually want to play in game, because you might have a different play style. You might want to use the Terminators in the first one to sit there and stage and hold the mid board. You might want to use the second one, which is frequently what I use, the army list, where you have the Khorne Lord of Skulls, and you can bridge that gap of any of your weaknesses and being able to fight just about any army out there. Or you can take this one, you just go completely combat crazy. You get the Fight First, you get a ton of 8-bound. You could take one of these, a couple of these 8-bound units out if you want to, and even throw in there a Terminator unit if you feel like it, right? But 3 amazing army lists. I wanted to show everyone these are things that I've used before. I've been successful with them as well, done very well on the tabletop. But I have a particular play style that I like playing with, which is the second one, and that's what I continue to play. So I hope everyone really enjoyed what I brought to you today. This presentation breaking down on how to start a World Eaters army and how collecting World Eaters can be very simplistic if you just follow these guidelines and recommendations. As always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Like the video for the Blood God. As always, thank you so much to everyone. Also, for those of you who stood by, I appreciate you very much, because you're going to hear some interesting news right now. I'm actually going to be doing a giveaway in the commercial that you saw throughout, right? I'm going to give away one of these Blessings of Khorne trackers, right? They're going to be absolutely amazing. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll put the information down in the YouTube description section so you know how to enter and win your very free Blessings of Khorne tracker. Thank you so much to everyone. And don't forget, Onslaught Gaming 40K, where victory is just a strategy away. And most importantly, burn, maim, kill, blood for the blood gods. Ah!